So, if you're anything like me, you love a good book. But if you've ever wanted to write a book yourself, you'll know it's a lot harder than it looks. There's plotting, character development, world building, and one of the hardest parts, names. You need names that fit your characters and your world. But where do you even start with that? Now, back to our story. In the heart of 17th century England, the air was thick with a sense of change. King James I had recently commissioned a new translation of the Bible, aiming to unify his kingdom under a single authoritative text. Among the bustling print shops of London, a young apprentice named Samuel worked at the esteemed printing house of Robert Barker, where they were about to release the latest edition of the King James Bible. The atmosphere was electric, filled with the sounds of presses clattering and the smell of fresh ink. Samuel, with his head full of dreams, admired the beauty of the printed pages, each one a work of art meant to inspire faith. He believed in the power of words to shape lives, but little did he know that this particular edition would become infamous for the very opposite reason. As the printing progressed, a mistake emerged, a grave error in the 7th commandment. Instead of reading, "Thou shalt not commit adultery," it read, "Thou shalt commit adultery." Samuel stumbled upon this mistake while reading through the proofs. His heart raced as he realized the implications of such an error. What would Archbishop William Laud, a powerful advocate for the church, think if the public were to read such a mistake? Conflicted between his duty to the printers and the moral compass instilled in him by the teachings of influential reformers like Thomas Beacon, Samuel sought out Mr. Barker. "Sir, there's a serious error in the text," Samuel said, his voice trembling. "The commandment is wrong. We cannot let this go to print." Mr. Barker, his brow furrowed, glanced at the proof. "Child, you must understand. Our reputation is at stake. The king expects us to deliver this edition promptly. Do not rock the boat with such trivial concerns." But Samuel could not shake the weight of the truth. As the copies rolled off the press, he watched with a heavy heart. He feared that the lies within these pages could mislead the faithful and tarnish the sacred text. The night before the official release, he made a daring decision. Under the cover of darkness, he snuck into the print shop. He knew the only way to ensure the error did not circulate was to destroy the remaining copies. In his heart, he believed he was preserving the integrity of the word. However, as he set about his task, he was caught by Mr. Barker, who was furious. "Have you lost your mind?" Barker shouted. "You will ruin us." "Better to destroy the flawed than to let them deceive the people," Samuel retorted, defiance burning in his eyes. At that moment, he realized he had a choice: to stand by truth or succumb to authority. In an unexpected turn, a voice came from the shadows. It was Reverend Thompson, a local cleric who had come to investigate the commotion. He had long been skeptical of the printing house's integrity and sensed something amiss about the new edition. "What have you found, Samuel?" the cleric asked gently. With shaking hands, Samuel revealed the proof. The Reverend examined it, disbelief etched across his face. Together, they pleaded with Mr. Barker to stop the print run and address the error. The weight of their combined conviction compelled the printer to reconsider. The following day, in a spirited gathering at the town square, Reverend Thompson stood before the community, holding the flawed pages high. "We have a responsibility to uphold truth. The word must be pure, or else we lead the faithful astray. We cannot let this mistake go uncorrected." The news of the error spread like wildfire, and the community rallied around the Reverend and Samuel. Although the reputation of the printing house suffered, the townspeople appreciated the moral stance taken. They pressed for a corrected version, sparking a dialogue about the implications of authenticity in religious texts and the responsibility of those who create and distribute them. Months later, amid the fallout, a new edition of the Bible was printed, one that corrected the mistakes while also embodying the community's collective resolve to value honesty and faith. Samuel continued his work in the print shop, but now he held a greater understanding of the responsibility that came with the power of the written word. Years later, when people discussed the wicked Bible, They did so not just to mention its infamous errors, but to remember the courage of those who stood for truth, including Samuel, Reverend Thompson, and the lessons learned from figures like King James the and the Reformers. The incident became a parable of integrity, a lesson on the importance of questioning authority, and the enduring belief that words, whether sacred or not, carry immense power. In that small town, the legacy of the wicked Bible served as a reminder that often it takes a brave heart to confront shadows and illuminate the path toward truth. So, what's the most important thing you think your story should teach readers? Let me know in the comments.